Welcome back, guys. In today's video, we're going to be talking about some books that I want to read this fall 2025. I cannot believe it's here. I can't believe it, but it's here. I'm ready to enjoy it. I have my fall gear on. I got my stack of fall books. I have my fall mug with my fall coffee, everything fall. I just love it. I'm obsessed. Love it. Perfecto. So I have a stack right here of 6 books that I plan on reading. These are books that I know for sure I am going to grab from. Like, this is a stack I'm going to for sure grab from. But I do have books on my shelf that I will probably grab, even though they are not in this TBR list, TBR stack. Pretty much because I am a mood reader. And being a mood reader, I tend to make these elaborate lists of TBRs and I almost never get to them. So I kept my TBR list for the fall, which is September, October, November, pretty short. I have 6 books. And then if I decide to read anything else, then I will be reading whatever else I want to read. I also have a separate stack of Christian nonfiction, but I'm going to leave that for another video because that's going to be like my Mother Academia type of video for the fall season. I think I'm going to start doing those seasonal videos as well. But we're talking fall fictions or fall inspired fictions, right? Whatever you want to call it. Okay, so the first book we have on this list is The Pumpkin Spice Cafe. This is a book all over Book Talk, all over BookTube, all over Bookstagram, all over the book community, online and in real life. Clearly, it's giving all the fall vibes. Let me block my face out. It's giving all the fall vibes, which I absolutely love. This is going to be the first one I'm going to be reading, but I'm actually more excited to read the second book in this series, which is the Cinnamon Bun Bookstore. And then there's also a Christmas Tree Farm book, so a Christmas book. But we're going to be reading this one first. I'm actually pretty interested to see how I'm going to like it because the Goodreads ratings were not all that high. Like, I went through a lot of the ratings and not a lot of people really enjoyed this book. So I'm interested to see if I'm going to enjoy it. It's a small town spicy romance. It says, when Jeannie's aunt gifts her the beloved Pumpkin Spice Cafe in the small town of Dream Harbor, Jeannie jumps at the chance for a fresh start away from her very dull desk job. I would too. Logan is a local farmer who avoids Dream Harbor's gossip at all costs. But Jeannie's arrival disrupts Logan's routine and he wants nothing to do with the irritating, let's just say irritating. The irritating, upbeat new girl, except that he finds himself inexplicably drawn to her. Will Jeannie's happy-go-lucky attitude win over the grumpy but gorgeous Logan, or has the city girl found the one person in town who won't fall for her charm or her pumpkin-spiced lattes? So, small town romance, which I love. I am a Gilmore Girls junkie. Like, I love the Gilmore Girls. Sullivan's Crossing, Sweet Magnolias. I'm all for those like small town movies, shows, and books. So I'm really excited to read this one, but even more excited to read the second one. I will let you guys know how this goes. Okay, the second book is What She Left Behind by Ellen Marie Wiseman. This author is one that I really, really enjoy reading. The last book I read from her is called The Lost Girls of Willowbrook. It's this one right here. This one right here. So this is the last book I read from her. And when I tell you that I devoured this book in 24 hours, please believe me, I was cooking and just reading the entire time. And it was done in less than 24 hours. So I'm really excited to read this one because Ellen Marie Wiseman is very, very good at what she does. She writes thrillers, like psychological thrillers, mysteries based in asylums, which to me, given the fall season, it gives spooky vibes. I'm not big on spooky vibes, but an asylum, that's pretty spooky to me. And that's probably as spooky as it's going to get on this channel because I don't do spooky. But her books are really good. Okay, so this one is about, it says, 10 years ago, Izzy Stone's mother fatally shot her father while he slept. Interesting. That actually reminds me of, what was it? The Silent Patient. So, okay. Devastated by her mother's apparent insanity, Izzy, now 17, refuses to visit her in prison. Oh, so this is a prison story. Is it? Okay, maybe. All right. But her new foster parents, employees at the local museum, have enlisted Izzy's help in cataloging items at a long-shuttered state asylum. There, amid piles of abandoned belongings, Izzy discovers a stack of unopened letters, a decades-old journal, and a window into her own past. Clara Cartwright, 18 years old in 1929, is caught between her overbearing parents and her love for an Italian immigrant. Furious when she rejects an arranged marriage, can't read, Clara's father sends her to a genteel home for nervous invalids. But when his fortune is lost in the stock market crash, he can no longer afford her care, and Clara is committed to the public asylum. Even as Izzy deals with the challenges of yet another new beginning, Clara's story keeps drawing her into the past. If Clara was never really mentally ill, could something else explain her own mother's violent act? Piecing together Clara's fate compels Izzy to re-examine her own choices with shocking and unexpected results. Okay, now. Interesting. It actually sounds really, really interesting. I'm interested to see how some old letters at a museum have anything to do with her mom's crime. But, I mean, I don't know. We'll see how that connects. But it sounds really good in my opinion. I don't know. If you've read this one, let me know down in the comments. I think this is an older one of hers. It might be one of her older books. Let's see. 2014. So it is a little bit on the older side. But I love the edging of this paper. Like, it just looks old. Like, rough edged. I love it. The next book on my TBR is from one of my favorite authors, which is Nora Roberts. Nora Roberts has been a favorite author of mine since, I want to say since I was a teenager, so like over 15 years ago. I have read a lot of her romances, especially when I was younger. But now as a 30-something-year-old, I tend to read a lot of her thrillers, her mystery books, and I really, really like them. This one is called The Liar. And if you look at the cover, it's giving me fall vibes. Like, it has the leaves, it has the spider webs. Okay, let's read what this one is about. It says, Shelby Foxworth lost her husband, then she lost her illusions. The man who took her from Tennessee to an exclusive Philadelphia suburb left her in crippling debt. He was an adulterer, a cheater, and a liar. And when Shelby tracks down his safe deposit box, she finds multiple IDs. The man she loved wasn't just dead, he never really existed. Oh my goodness. Shelby takes her 3-year-old daughter and heads south to seek comfort in her hometown, where she meets someone new, Griff Lott, a successful contractor. But her husband has secrets she has yet to discover. Even in this small town, another small town, surrounded by loved ones, danger is closer than she knows and threatens Griff as well. And an attempted murder is only the beginning. I have a feeling that her husband is not really dead. Maybe he plots his own death, like he plans his own death and then comes back and then, I don't know. I'm getting too far ahead of myself, but Nora Roberts, I'm telling you, she is a beast. I love her books. I have not gotten into any of her fantasy because I'm not much of a fantasy reader. I do have to try to like touch some fantasy because everyone is into fantasy nowadays. I personally, I'm not, but I'm going to try it one day, I promise. Okay, I have 3 more books in this book stack, but first I need a sip of my cafecito. The next 2 books are Christian thrillers, and author is Jamie Jo Wright. So I have 2 of them. These are the 2 by Jamie Jo Wright, and we're going to start with this one. The Vanishing at Castle Moreau. And the cover's so pretty. You would think that it's not like a mystery book, but it is like Christian thriller or Christian. It's romantic suspense is what the back says. Romantic suspense. A haunting legend, an ominous curse, a search for a secret buried deep within the castle walls. In 1870, orphan Daisy Francois takes a position as housemaid at a Wisconsin castle to escape the horrors of her past life. There she finds a reclusive and eccentric Gothic authoress who hides tales more harrowing than the ones in her novels. So she has a lot of secrets. As women disappear from the area and the eerie circumstances seem to parallel a local legend, Daisy is thrust into a web that could ultimately steal her sanity, if not her life. In the present day, Cleo Clemens is hired by the grandson of an American aristocratic family to help his grandmother face her hoarding in the dilapidated Castle Moreau. But when Cleo uncovers more than just a woman's stash of collectibles, a century-old mystery and the dust of the old castle's curse threaten to rise again, this time to leave no one alive to tell the sordid tale. Interesting. I'm not gonna lie, to be a Christian thriller or a romantic suspense, but Christian, it sounds pretty intense. It really does sound intense. I've never read anything by Jamie Jo Wright, but there are a couple of Christian booktubers that I have seen or heard them talk about this author, and they have nothing but good things to say. But yeah, that, I don't know. I have read one other Christian fiction, or maybe two. No, one other Christian like crime, thriller, mystery book, and I really enjoyed it. To me, it was kind of weird, honestly, having like a mix of faith and mystery or suspense, crime. It's not something I'm used to. It's not bad, but it's not something that I'm used to. So I'm interested to see how, like a Christian mystery is put together. Okay, her next book is The Souls of Lost Lake. And this one says, to save the innocent, they must face an insidious evil. I'm telling you, these Christian thrillers or romantic suspense, that's what this one is categorized as. They really do seem a lot more intense than the other ones. But, okay. Wren Blythe has long enjoyed living in the North Woods of Wisconsin, helping her father with ministry at a youth camp. But when a little girl in the area goes missing, an all-out search ensues, reviving the decades-old campfire story of Ava Coons, the murderess who is believed to still roam the forest. Joining the search, Wren stumbles upon the Coons' cabin ruins and a sinister mystery she is determined to unearth. In 1930, Ava Coons has spent the last several years carrying the mantle of mystery since the day she emerged from the woods as a 13-year-old girl, spattered with blood, dragging a Loxer's axe. She has accepted she will never remember what happened to her family, whose bodies were never found, and that the people of Tempter's Creek will always blame her for their violent deaths. And after a member of the town is murdered and another goes missing, rumors spread that Ava's secret is perhaps more malicious than previously imagined. Two women, separated by time, must confront a wickedness that not only challenges who they are, but also threatens their lives and the lives of those they love. Some of the quotes in the back say, fast-pacing, great writing, deep spiritual truths. So it's gonna be faith-based. And then it says, and just the right amount of spookiness. I don't know. If you've read any of Jamie Jo Wright's mystery or romantic suspense, let me know what you think. Okay, the last one on this TBR is The Removed by Brandon Hobson. This is a book I literally have not heard anyone talk of, sadly, at least that I can remember. And I don't know what it's about. I did look to see if it was like suspense, some sort of thriller, like to read during the fall season, and it is. So that's why I picked this one up. Let's read what it says. In the 15 years since their teenage son Ray Ray was killed in a police shooting, the Ichota, I'm pretty sure that's not how you pronounce it, but it's easier to pronounce in Spanish than English. So the Echota family, has been suspended in private grief. The mother, Maria, okay, so probably Hispanic name, increasingly struggles to manage the onset of Alzheimer's in her husband, Ernest. Their adult daughter, Sonia, leads a life of solitude, punctuated only by spells of dizzying romantic obsession. And their remaining son, Edgar, fled home long ago, turning to drugs to mute his feelings of alienation. With the family's annual bonfire approaching, an occasion marking both the Cherokee national holiday and Ray Ray's death, in a rare moment in which they openly talk about his memory, Maria attempts to call the family together from their physical and emotional distances once more. But as the bonfire draws near, each of them feels a strange blurring of the boundary between normal life and the spirit world. Maria and Ernest take in a foster child who seems almost miraculously. Oh, okay, hold on. Maria and Ernest take in a foster child who seems almost miraculously to keep Ernest's mental fog at bay. Sonia becomes dangerously fixated on a man named Vin, despite, or perhaps because of, his ties to tragedy in her lifetime and to lifetimes before. And in the wake of a suicide attempt, Edgar finds himself in a mysterious, darkening land, a place between the living and the dead, where old atrocities echo. Drawing deeply on Cherokee folklore, the remove seamlessly blends the real and the spiritual to excavate the deep reverberations of trauma, a meditation on a meditation on family, grief, home, and the power of stories on both personal and ancestral levels. Okay, I guess we will see if this is like a paranormal type book, because if I start reading and it ends up being or having any like paranormal content, I will probably not even finish reading, to be honest, because I don't do that. When it comes to like really spooky vibes and paranormal type things, I don't do books like that. But it doesn't hurt to try a book, and if you don't like it, you put it down, because that's okay. That is completely okay. I have done that multiple times. But let me grab this stack. Hopefully it doesn't fall, because it did when I was filming my thumbnail. Here is my beautiful stack of fall books. Let me know down in the comments what books you're going to be reading this fall. If you have any book recommendations, leave them down in the comments. Let me know, because I'm always looking for new books to read. So yes, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure that you give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you find yourself coming back. And we will see you in the next video. Bye.